Hi, everybody. This is Richie Eddings, and this is the Jesus Movement. I have some guests tonight I'm trying to get on. We had a little problem getting them on at first, and they just said they had some technical difficulties. So we'll see if we can get them on pretty quick here. Um, I'm just going to let them know that I just went live and that they should be able to look at the chat and pick it up. I just went live. So when you get when you get to the channel A, come on, channel, you'll see it. See it. Okay, sorry, you have to look at me while I'm doing all that, right? Okay, let me see if I can get another link over to my brothers. Maybe he can help me out with these technical difficulties. Okay. Boy, I sure hate starting out with stuff like this, but we're going to get it together here. Let me go ahead and go back here and see if I can go ahead and see if it'll work again now. I don't know. Let's see. Copy. Copy. Now let's try Messenger again. Couldn't get it last time. I don't know what it was. Let's see. 2R. Royce Eddings. Okay, let's go ahead and send that, and I'll go back to the Maddoxes and see if I can get it to them. All right, I know you can still see me. I'm still talking. I'm going to go ahead and try it, but to the Maddoxes again. Copy the link. It didn't come out. It didn't come out quite right. Says copied. Okay, let's go to Messenger again. And let's go ahead and put in. I hope you guys watching me out there. Okay. Okay. Let's go ahead and put in OLESWA. See, this is not going in. It's not going. Theirs is not going in. All right, it's not going in. So we're messed up on their deal. I don't know how else. Maybe I can put it in Messenger. Is that a thing I can put it in? Okay, I can't spend all day on it, but we'll see. Okay. Okay, they're coming back at me now. All right, let's go back to. Let's go back. I don't know where to go back to. Cancel. Okay, what did they say? With a YouTube. Yes. Yes. No. Let me just put it in here. Okay, I hope we don't. Let's Richie Eddings. EDDIN. We're gonna get it. We're gonna get it. Don't worry. Eddings on YouTube. YouTube. Okay. You guys, let's close this out. For some reason, it won't go to your messenger. Okay, well, anyway, let's say a prayer for the show and let's see what's going on. And we'll get rolling here. I got my backdrop up and I'm ready to roll. I got a few people watching, and I'd hate to keep on going over this technical stuff, but we'll get them on here. We'll get them on here. We'll get them on here somehow together. Hi there. We are on YouTube. How do we join? Okay. Put my name in the search. They're still trying to get on. Put my name in the search box. Name in the search. Oh, you're watching me right now. Okay. Do you see? Will you see where you can put a live chat in? There should be a little box where you can put a live chat in. I've already put the link into the chat. It's under Rich. It's already in the chat. Okay. It's the link's in the live chat. Link. Can you hear me? Can you hear me out there? The link is in the live chat. Can you see it? Okay. Let's turn on the thing. Sorry, folks. We're working on it though. Okay. I'm gonna send another message. If you are watching me live, the link is in the live chat where you can come on and say something, and it comes up on my screen. But all you have to do is click on that link. It says Richie Eddings, and I already have the link in there. You just click on that link, and it'll bring you on. Okay. Anyway, I got two people watching. I don't know who they are, but okay. They're at it again. I hate to sit here and do this, but I want to get. Hey, Richie, I'm sitting in the hospital. Let's bring Bobby Simmons up. Let's bring Bobby up. He's in the hospital. Okay, now we got Angela coming on too. Great. This is going to be good. Okay, Bobby Simmons, my friend Bobby Simmons says, "Hey Richie, I'm sitting in the hospital checking you. Hip surgery went well. Oh, good. Oh, okay. Okay. Okay, Bobby. Thank God. Praise the Lord that you come out of it all right. I got to say hello to Angela, and let's see who else. Royce is on here. Oh, Royce, you want to come on? Hey, Royce, you want to come on for a little while and help me get my guests on? They're having trouble getting on. They say they can't click on the live chat. It says 24 hours to stream and a bunch of other stuff. So now they're saying we may have to do it another time. Oh, here he is right now. If you guys are watching us, I just got my brother coming on. We may have to do it another time. Hey, Royce.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. I've got some people trying to get on right now.
Okay, hold on. We have an echo problem. Let me check to make sure that I don't have something else running.
Okay.
Let's see. I don't see YouTube running anywhere. Let me go ahead and say something. I'm just trying to check this out.
Okay.
Oh, that's fine. Everything's
Okay.
fine.
Good. Can you hear
Yeah.
me? Am I loud enough?
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right. Well, I had my next door neighbors. They're trying to come on and they can't get on. I tried. I couldn't get them
Well,
on the messenger, and
okay,
that's so I
wait,
put it.
wait. Put a new link up and just tell them to click on the link.
Well, I on. You mean in the chat?
Yes.
Okay, I tried that, and they said they
I
wouldn't
mean,
let them.
that's how I just came in.
You clicked in the live chat.
Yeah.
Okay.
On
Okay.
the link you put up.
All righty. So there have. Okay. Let me just tell them. My brother just came on the show. He clicked in the link in the live chat, and it brought him right on. I don't. Are you? If you guys.
Well, it takes you backstage where you check your mic, and you may have to scroll your screen down a little bit to where it says enter the broadcast studio, and you have to click on that, and then you can see them and bring them on.
Oh, okay. All righty.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So just put the link up again.
Maybe they're watching. I don't know if they're still watching. They were going to come on and talk about their mission in Africa,
Oh,
where their
okay.
whole family went. So
Hi,
I
Angela. For some reason, I can't make comments. Um, this happens sometimes when I come on somebody else's show. I can't
it happened
actually
to me.
comment unless I'm off the show.
It happened to me
So I
on
just
your
want to say
show.
hi, Bobby. Hi, Angela.
Bobby just had hip surgery.
Yeah, I read something about that as I was coming on. Yeah.
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 So
Sorry
we
to
got.
hear that, Bobby.
Anyway, I'm going to tell them we'll try to do a test thing and we'll get it. We'll get it another time, and we'll go on. We'll go on. I still have some stuff I was planning on talking about.
Okay.
Because they're having problems and I don't know really what they are. So I'm going to
Yeah.
tell them, okay, I can't tell them like that because that ain't work.
You can put the link up one more time. Just give it a shot, maybe.
Okay. I'm going to put the link up one more time in the live chat. And if it doesn't work, we'll have to test it out and do it another time. I'm going to put the link up again.
Okay.
So watch for it in the
And
live chat.
what they need to understand, Rich, is
Yeah.
that they don't come flying on the show when they click on it. They wind up in some little limbo land, and there's a little place where you test your mic, make sure that your volume's okay, and after that you have to look down at the bottom of the page, and you may even have to scroll down to it where it says enter a broadcast studio. Then they click on that, and then you can see them, and then you can bring them on. They don't just pop on when they click on the link.
Okay. You don't just pop on when you click on the link. You got to scroll down where it says to enter a live broadcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, enter a live broadcast studio, and then you hit
And then
that.
they
You
go
come up,
backstage where you
right.
can see them and you can bring them on.
Then you go backstage where I can see you, and then I bring you on. Okay? I hope you get all this. Anyway, all right. Okay. How's everybody doing out there? Let's see. We got Angela. We got Bobby Simmons. I thought we had one other person. Oh, and Royce we got right here. This is my brother Royce from Royce in the House. He's got his own podcast show. And go ahead and talk a little bit about it, Royce, while I get set up here.
Oh, okay. It's called Royce in the House, and we have multiple playlists. You know, I'm a contractor. I have a construction playlist. Betty and I are realtors. We have a real estate playlist, but we have some funner stuff like why we love the Central Coast, where we go out around and do vlogs. You know, little tours of famous places. But the main show is the every Sunday night live podcast where we pick a different topic. Like last week, we talked about the Fillmore East, and Richie was on the show. And anybody that was anybody in rock and roll played at the Fillmore East between 68 and 71. It was just a fantastic play. What a great story. Everybody played there. I mean, everybody. Hendrix, Jefferson Airplane, the Cream, the Grateful Dead, and of course the famous Allman Brothers albums, live albums were produced there too. But the list of live albums that were made at that venue, the Fillmore East, was just incredible. Must have taken me 35 minutes just to read it. Some of these albums were made between 68 and 71. Not made, but I mean the concert was recorded. And some of these weren't released until recent times. Some of them 20, 30, and even 40 years after the recordings were made. So it was pretty crazy as I was reading through those lists. But anyway, we had fun last night, and we try to cover a different topic. We've covered Laurel Canyon. We've covered Woodstock. We've got a long list of music-based topics that we cover on a weekly basis. Every Sunday, 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Royce in the House. Like I said, we have a live podcast. We try to limit it to an hour, but it's not hard for it to go an hour and a half, sometimes an hour and a half plus. And that's my fault. I need to keep more control over it. But anyway, so that's what we've been doing, and welcome you all to come join us and come to the chat if you want to come on. You want to talk about whatever.
Well, here they are.
Oh,
I'm
they
sorry, Rush,
made it.
didn't mean to interrupt. I think we got someone else now. Oh, add to stream. Okay, finally. Okay.
So sorry. We've never done this
All
before.
right, very good. Hey, you
Well,
guys, this is
how did
Joe.
that work out? Going backstage and did that work out okay?
Well, yeah.
Walter.
Can you hear us?
Yes.
Okay.
You're on. I can hear you.
Yeah. So I mean, I just, instead of YouTube, I just put in the link.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You
so-
just click on the link and you wind up backstage.
Yeah, and Safari didn't work, so I had to do through Chrome, which is why it wasn't letting me in.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So
Huh.
just for future, it says.
Well, you
It's not-
figured it out, man. That's amazing.
Sorry, it took us so long.
That's amazing. You figured it out. Okay. I'm so happy. Okay, now I got you. Now I got to go back to a small screen. Royce, I'm trying to get your. This is my brother Royce up here.
Hey, Royce.
Hey.
Hi.
He's got his own podcast show called Royce in the House. He was just
Royce
talking,
in the
didn't
House.
hear much of it, but he
Royce
does
in
it.
the House,
It's all
yeah.
about music.
We go
and
live
it's about
every
music.
Sunday at 6:30.
Okay. Nice.
So it's music
I'm
based
trying to
podcast.
get that. I'm trying to find you, Rose.
What are you trying to do?
Hi, Rich. Oh no, that's Angela. Okay, no wonder I can't get it because it's Angela. I'm thinking it's Royce. I'm trying to get her back down to. This says okay, that's her. Hide it. All right, I'm hiding you, Angela. We got a couple people chatting, which is always nice. Okay, and now we got.
Hey,
See, you
thank
guys
you.
got your names on here, and that'll be $5 after the show. No, I'm kidding. To get your name on screen is $5. Okay.
No,
That's-
Richie,
that's
did you
stupid, I
say
know.
these? Did you say these are your neighbors, Richie, Joe and Alessa?
That's true.
And they are well, this is Joe and Alyssa Maddox, and I'm just going to start with your church, okay? They
Okay.
belong to the Risen Life Church here in Salem.
Correct.
Joe, I'm going to let you guys and you and Alyssa go ahead and tell you what your association is with them, okay?
Okay. Yeah, we've
know,
been
like,
we've been going to Risen Life Church for about, I don't know, a year or so, a little longer than that, year and a half. It's pastored by Abraham Harris, and I'm an associate pastor there as well as one of my son-in-laws.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yep.
And you got
Yeah,
your
that's
kids are
interesting.
involved down there. I see I don't know I can't remember I don't got their names exactly. The one that works the sound down there for the praise group.
Yeah, that's Samuel.
He's carrying around
Yeah.
the remote for that. That was cool. I like seeing
Yeah.
that stuff. when the kids are involved
How
with
old
everything,
is
you know.
he?
Samuel's 16 years old.
Okay.
He does the sound for our church, and definitely, like, he doesn't play any instruments really, but definitely part of the worship. So
Gotcha.
yeah, he
Well,
takes
that's
it
cool.
seriously. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I pretty
That
much
is really
in
cool.
the church, like our pastors, we're trying to get all of the youth involved, so that way it's their church and
right.
they're not like dragged to
Right.
church. They have responsibilities, and so
Oh.
they are there before us and stay after
Right.
us.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's right. Hopefully.
Yeah. So
Okay, let's see here.
Well,
Okay,
cool.
now I really wanted to talk about your guys' mission to Africa, and I wrote down some questions. I'm really not. I was really trying to get organized, and then everything hit the fan, and I couldn't get it together here. And then you guys had problems, so now I'm totally unorganized. No, it's okay though. Let's see here. Wasn't your fault, I promise.
No, that's all right.
Get up.
It might have been.
No, it wasn't your fault. That's just me. Okay, come on. Let's see. Notepad. Okay, here it is. Here it is. All right. We're just gonna see where this takes us. These
Sure.
questions and where it takes us. Okay. I know that I talked to you guys a little bit before about your mission and stuff, but what was the motivation for that in the first place?
Well,
What
go ahead.
either one of you can.
All right. So we met in church. I didn't grow up as a Christian. She did, but I had started coming out to church. She was there. After a couple years, we got married. It was a pretty involved church. We were out on the streets preaching the gospel on a regular basis.
All right.
Yeah, definitely. And it was big on discipleship, teaching people how to preach the gospel and how to, just really serve. And we were on fire for several years. And then I don't know, we had a couple kids and we got a little lazy and we kind of just became really lukewarm. And during that time that we became lukewarm, like I said, I didn't grow up as a Christian. And so when all of a sudden it stopped being important to you, you kind of go back to what your roots were. And my roots were kind of just, yeah, there's probably a God, but, probably doesn't care too much about what goes on. Well, when I went cold from being lukewarm, my wife, she went hot and she started praying and just, asking God to not just restore what we had, because who wanted what we had? We didn't have a good marriage at the time. And so she started praying, God, don't just restore what we had, get us on fire for you. And she started praying specifically that we would go on missions. And over the course of several months, the Lord grabbed hold of my life again. And when he did, it was different. It was an immediate, he took hold of me and I told Alyssa, I said, I think we need to go on missions. And so really quickly, we agreed to sell our house. I quit my job and we joined YWAM and went and did our first missions trip. So
now YWAM is like the organization that gets you hooked up for these missions.
Yeah, it's a worldwide. I think they have like 200 something locations, and it's a school. It's a school that was started 60 years ago by Lauren Cunningham, where he had like a vision of waves going into countries and coming out like over and over. And so this whole organization is based on school for 11 weeks. And then you go for about 11 weeks, you go into another country and you don't really start anything. You just kind of go alongside and help the ministries that are already established there, because there's local bases there already that are working in like neighborhoods and orphanages, building homes, just like working with the poor. And so when the teams that come in, we only came in there for like 11 weeks to Africa, to Mexico, but we just kind of helping hands for ministries that are already on the ground. And we just, we brought extra money, we brought extra people to, go visit the orphanages, we built a school in Mexico, worked in like red light districts and stuff, but it's already with the local established ministries.
Yeah. So how long was the mission? How long was the mission that you went on? The missions that you did.
So the school was 11 weeks, and it goes through like knowing God. A basis. You need to know God, and then the outreach part, I think, was 11 weeks or 10 weeks or 11 weeks. And that part is to make him known. So you don't need to be a scholar to go on missions. You just need to come to know God. And the school was just like nature and character of God, what missions, who you are, like what your purpose is. Like it goes through like almost like like I wouldn't say counseling, but like just, school,
It's rooting you in who you are in Christ and who He is. So
yeah. And
now, how'd the kids feel about it when you told them you were getting ready to go and all that? Did they say, "Oh my God, we're going to miss our friends. We don't want to go, get out of school and all this stuff"? What come down with all that? That just seemed like that would be a tough one for them.
In some ways it was, in some ways it wasn't. We always homeschooled our kids, and so they weren't like in classrooms with kids all day long. Even though they did have, they got friends all over the place.
Right.
But when we went, it's like my oldest daughter at first, she was really excited because she's loved YWAM for a lot of years and wanted to do YWAM herself.
I'll be darned.
Right. And so it's like she was excited, but she had friends and, and things back home that she didn't want to leave. And
I don't think I ever met your oldest daughter, did I?
You may or may not have. She comes in and out on occasion.
Yeah, I remember seeing a few different people, but I didn't, I didn't want to be too nosy. Hey, which one are you? I didn't want to do all that. I knew, how I knew you guys were back from Florida?
How's that?
Sadie came in the house.
Oh, goodness.
I didn't know you guys were home. It's interesting. I didn't know you were home, and then I saw your dog, but I
just opened the door for Peppy, and here comes Sadie running in the house.
Yeah,
I cracked up. I said, "Well, they're home, I guess."
Yeah.
But, so how many kids went with you?
4.
Oh,
yeah, we have 4, and they all came with us. And
that's great, man.
And honestly, though, by the time we were done, they all were so thankful that we went. Like there was no question. They loved it. They were happy about it. God really worked in their lives, and they knew it.
Yeah. They seem like great kids. The one I've talked to them and stuff, they've always been really nice and, and seem like they're really into going to church and, everything else. I mean, it's not a real seriously common thing to find that a lot anymore,
True.
Especially the kids so young, like they are like 15 and 16 and I don't, and is it Michael that's here now?
That's
Is that his name?
Yeah.
Okay, he's in school still. I mean, he's in college now, right?
He's taking a break. He went too early, and so he tried for half a year into Hillsborough, Kansas, and decided it's too far for him to be alone.
Okay, so you homeschooled him all the way up to that point?
Yes,
that's correct. Yeah.
I didn't know you could go that long. I thought you could only go through elementary. Maybe junior high. I didn't know you could do high school too.
Yeah, no, we.
I didn't. Yeah, I just didn't know. I'm just. So I'm trying to get you that high Rich off here, and it won't go on. Oh, that's Angela. That's why it's high Royce. That's why I can't get it off. Boy, I tell you. Anyway, I wanted. So 4 kids went with you. And what did they do? Did they have internet?
Hey,
did they have
Richie.
internet? Well, they're well,
right, Richie, scroll up till you see that message from Angela, and click on it. It'll go away. Right now. You got to scroll up.
Yeah, it's really bugging me. It's been on there for. I think I got to scroll down maybe. Angela High Royce. But so they jumped right in with whatever they had to do. Your kids did, huh?
Yeah, no, they definitely did. So when we went and did our school, they were also in a school called Foundation School, where they were learning essentially the same stuff as we were, just at a level that they can relate to. And so it's like we would come home from our school, and they would come home from their school, and we would learn so many of the same things. And then we got to kind of apply them as family. Now, anytime you get to learn this much, there's going to be a lot of warfare, and I mean a lot of arguments happened, lots of tempers rose up, things like that. But ultimately, it was
Angela
beautiful thing.
says, where you guys went to Africa, right?
That's correct. Yeah, we
Did you
went
go
to
to Africa
Uganda.
too? Okay, she says where in Africa? Where in Africa specifically?
In Jinja, Uganda. It's right by
Jinja,
the. It's right.
Uganda.
That's right. It's right by the heart of the Nile, Lake Victoria.
Yeah, where they
Uganda,
meet.
isn't that where Idi Amin took control years back?
That is correct. Yeah. And in fact,
Wow.
the best man in our wedding, he grew up in the village that we went to, and
Yeah.
And he won't go back. So he doesn't like the thought of going back. So
Yeah, the people called him
Okay.
Dada.
yeah,
The people
He's a-
called
What'd
him
they call him?
Dada, like Daddy.
yeah.
Like Dada, like Dada. Okay,
Yeah,
wow.
yeah.
So when you first decided to do this, I mean, I know this has got to be big changes and stuff. And what did you have to do to prepare the whole family to get ready and go? That's
I think God works in amazing ways because
I know he does.
he was already like not knowing. We lived here in South Salem, like off of like between Commercial and Liberty, like right there by the old DMV and by Judson Middle School. And we had a house there. Joe worked, for an insurance company, and just we're living like a normal American life. And then all of a sudden it's like, just I think a year before we left, we started to remodel our house, paint and do the things like, and even like took things off the walls. Like, I mean, there was just something that people were coming to our house and they're like, are you guys moving? And I'm like, I don't know, but they're like, something looked different, And so then when I would say Joe's faith was restored and we felt like God was saying, go, we were like, kind of ready, there was not a lot to do. And, and the kids we went through a really hard, like patch in our marriage. It was hard. Like it was maybe like a year of like, I mean, close to divorce. And so kids were a part of that. Like I literally felt like a dark cloud over our house. And so when God started to move, things were clearing up. And so I think that everyone was ready for a change, like a true reset, a true change. We couldn't really be like, okay, well, let's go back to where we were before. We all needed like a complete change. And so when we did a mission trip to Gleanings for the Hungry, which is another YWAM Youth with the Mission, it's down in Dinuba, California. We did like soup kitchen, beaches with our youth group. And when we were there, we all felt like, so we're going to do this. We're going to, just like we're staying on the base there. And there was other families there that sold everything and they're living full time on the mission base. We felt like that's where God was going to take us. And when we came home from the mission trip, it was like our home did not even feel like home anymore. And I think Joe went to work and he was like, he's like, I feel like I'm not even supposed to be here anymore. And so it was like June, and in August, we listed our house of 2019. So we felt this in June, decided to do this in June. In August, we listed our house to sell. We applied for the school on August 1st. It got accepted. Put our house on the market on August 15th, sold it on August 17th.
Oh, wow. Cool.
September 16th, we got our, equity check. And, and at that time, I'm like, oh, this is a good chunk of money. Like, we should just put a down payment somewhere. And I felt like God was saying, this is not what this is for, And so on September 26th, we were on the plane to the school. Like, it was like, people were watching and they're going, what are you guys doing with this? Is all within a couple of months.
Wow.
So we didn't have a lot of time to think. We didn't have a lot of time to
I know that feeling though. I know that feeling about when you're somewhere and all of a sudden you think it just doesn't feel right anymore. I felt that before. Maybe not as heavy as you guys did, but I definitely felt it before. And I think I did definitely make some moves. I wasn't locked in and rooted like you guys were, but I felt like that and moved before like that. But it was different, and it wasn't about God, and it wasn't about missions or anything else. It didn't work out either. So, but I know the feeling though about coming back to your place where you're used to, and it's just not feeling right. I know that kind of feeling,
Yeah.
and
And
it's really weird, and you got to do something at that point,
Right.
And it's a good thing you guys had something like what you did in the works already. That's great.
Yeah.
And what else did I see? We're gonna get into maybe some scripture in a minute. Throw some scripture in, hopefully, if I can ever get this. Okay, I was gonna say now. Okay, I don't know. Just about covered all that. Is there anything else you want to add to that about
well,
your journey to make your journey type of thing?
I would say the one thing that we learned at that point in time, and we had no idea what was going to happen when we sold everything, when we went out. There was part of us that thought maybe we'd be on full-time missions for the rest of our lives.
Right.
Like I kind of feel like that's how I felt. And we got back and we were immediately going to turn back around, but that's when COVID had hit. And they shut everything down. And so we were actually
just slowed everything down, right?
But here we were at this point in time. I didn't have a job. We didn't have a house. And now we had no place to go. Like,
is that when you ended up next door to me?
No, this was before that. This was about a year before that.
Yeah.
So it was just such an interesting time. So that Gleanings for the Hungry that my wife was talking about earlier, we called them up and they knew us. We'd been there several times over the course of years. And we had friends there, but we let them know. We said, hey, this is what just happened. We sold our house. We quit our job. We went, we did our discipleship training school and went on missions. And I just asked, I said, can we stay there while this whole thing blows over? And so we got to go and stay on this base in Dinuba, California. And for, 2 months? Mm-hmm. About 2 months, we got to serve there. And it was just so neat to watch as the Lord, like already so early on, was saying, if you sell and you go, I'll take care of you. I have you. And so several weeks into that into that stay, we got a call from my mom letting me know that my grandma and my grandpa had been in a car accident and my granddad had passed away. My grandma was, probably going to, and she did within a couple of days. And wow. And what this opportunity did for us, not that opportunity, but being like mobile, we didn't have a home. My mom asked us if we could come and stay in my grandmother's house. And it allowed us to be in a place for my mom while she was going through this grieving process of losing her own mother, right? And so we got to be there and just minister. We didn't have a job. We just had an opportunity to minister, and we had house provided for us. We had food on the table, and it's just literally we've watched as one opportunity to minister comes to an end, another one opens up. And, there's so much detail that, we could go into, but really it's just, I think what happens is you just start recognizing how God is leading you into something new.
That's where's that at? And in the Bible where it says when one door closes, another one opens up, something like that.
I don't know I don't know exactly where that would be. But
Angela said, my thing's acting up. My computer's acting up. Hi, Joe and Alyssa. I hope I spelled the name right. Well, you didn't, Angela. It's no, I'm not being mean. It's Alesya, right?
OLE. It's OLE.
OLESYA.
Okay. Oh.
Yep.
So I'm just looking at hers. That's why I said A. That wasn't me. Okay. No. But anyway, I just found it, like when you guys first told me about this, I just found it amazing that you packed up the family and did all these things, sold your house and all that stuff. That's just that's going through a lot of pretty big deals to do it,
Yeah.
I mean, that's really making a commitment.
Yeah.
That's really a
someone said the other day, like they said they were praying for us, and they were talking about the fact that we've given everything up, and they've, and what an example we are, and things like that. And it's true. I mean, I'm not going to like say it's not. It is a good thing. It is a sacrifice. But
Right.
The funny thing is, it's like with what you give up and what you gain, there's like no trade-off. I sit there and I go, to me, I don't feel like I sacrificed a lot. I feel like I get to go on an amazing journey with God, right? I get to show people things
exactly.
that other people don't get to show them. So yeah, it's a trade-off, but it's definitely worth it.
Well, and even like, with talking about our kids, is it's like you can hear and see we have a lot of kids here at our house often, even though we probably have the smallest place of all the people of all of our friends. Our house is probably the smallest, but we have kids here often, and they, and I hear the kids, their friends talking, and they always say, "Man, you guys have the best life. You guys just up and go. You guys have traveled the world a couple of times. You guys, we did a road trip across the U.S. 2021. And it's like, it's interesting because our kids, they love their life. They're not like feeling. I mean, they're sad to leave their friends, but they've got so many experiences, and and it's like they know that when you give something up, something better could be on the other side, and so they're always ready for adventure with us.
Well, Richie and I grew up in.
This sounds like.
Richie and I grew up in Southern Nevada, and it was a pretty heavy concentration of Mormons. There for a while, it was like all my friends were Mormons, and they all went on missions. I mean, and sometimes it was little more than just riding around town and in another town on bicycles and stuff, and knocking on doors and stuff.
Right.
Yeah. It was like when they turned 18, they went on like a 2-year mission.
Right.
That's right. Yeah.
Almost
that's exactly
every
what they did. Yeah.
young LDS person I knew, they were, well, I'm going to go on a mission before I can get married and all this stuff, and I'm like, okay, cool. I don't know what they did. I guess they go to other towns and try to recruit or whatever, a lot. And I know one girl, remember Benavides, was it Paul Benavides?
Yeah, there was.
This is a sad story. His daughter went on a Mormon mission where in South America or somewhere in Mexico or something, and she got hit by a car and killed. That's a sad story there while she was on her mission. Sad
story. Yeah.
And my family, my sister knew the Benavideses, and I knew them through real estate. When I was selling real estate, I dealt with a few of them, Paul and his sister, on a couple of things. So, yeah, it was really sad when I heard that. She used to work when she was in high school, she was a box girl at Smith's Food King. And everybody knew her and everybody's seen her all the time. And then she takes off for a mission, and that's it. How can that be? Horrible.
That's too bad.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I think the only difference between being on mission and not being on mission is that you're doing what you're doing. You're basically doing what you do. It's just now you're doing it for God. So it's like, the same thing can happen. The car accidents can happen. You don't know what tomorrow holds.
Yeah, right? You don't ever know what's going to. What does it say? It rains on the just and the unjust. That's that's the way it is. But you know what? I talk to a lot of people that they say like. I'm a Christian now, but I was almost 60 years old before I, really started to figure out what I had to do to get to be one, And then I started going to church, and I met some pastors, and me and my wife took off to Iowa because our life was horrible and everything, and we were mixed up in some of the wrong things. And so we took off to Iowa because she had been there before and knew a couple of pastors there. They were married, and they had their own churches before. But when we got there, they didn't have one. They helped us out with a motel for a couple of nights when we got there. And Miley hit the pavement, and she got us some help through some other churches, and she had been saved in her life, and I hadn't been. She got some help from some other churches and the Salvation Army, and we got to stay at this one place. It was a shelter, but it was really a motel. But they used rooms there for the Salvation Army did. So they put us up there for a few weeks, and the churches helped out. And then she went on an interview to a big Cornerstone church there in Ames, Iowa. And for this thing, the Salvation Army told her about this lady named Sarah Day, who was an advocate for families, right? To help them. So Miley went on the interview, and there's about 7 other families there that were trying to get this. She took Donovan. You know, Donovan is her son. He's autistic, but he's 25 now. He still lives here. You know him. You've seen him around the apartments here. And he's doing real good. But anyway, she took him. They went to the meeting, the interview, to see if we could get in. They only had one apartment available. It was a brand new rehab 2-bedroom in Ames. It was like brand new, had everything, washer, dryer, everything, all brand new stuff and all rehabbed and everything. And we got it. So they gave us 3 months there in that apartment, and we had to pay $250 a month.
Wow.
And the only income we had coming in at the time was Miley's SSI, Social Security. So then I got a job as a painting labor, and I'm almost 60 years old, man. You know, that's a backbreaking deal there. But I took it, and then we got paid every week, and we got this apartment. We had to put $100 deposit or something like that down, and $250 a month for 3 months. We saved every one of my checks for like 3 months. We never even cashed them. I cashed a whole bunch of them at once, and I didn't have ID. They still hired me. And the old guy that owned the paint company, it was called Winkler Paint Company. The old guy that owned the paint company cashed handful of checks for me. I went to the bank with him and stuff. He was a really nice guy. And then I cashed the rest of them. Then I couldn't take it no more. At the time, I was having problems with both of my hands, and I got them fixed one at a time. It was arthritis surgeries. The bone replacements in my thumb on both sides in the same spot. But anyway, I'm having all kinds of problems with them. So I stuck that job out for as long as I could, and we saved quite a bit of money. Then we rented a big manufactured home in Story City. And we were off and running by then. And then Donovan was on his Social Security, and I was, you know, I didn't have no job in Story City, but we were doing all church stuff. And it seemed like we had plenty.
Yeah.
But if you look at the income and everything, and we were paying regular rent on the manufacturer's home, if you just looked at our income and looked at what we had, it didn't make sense.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Hey, Rich, I just want to mention that a friend of mine just entered the chat, Psycho's Platters.
He was on the other day with me.
Oh, good. Glad to hear it. Good to see you, buddy.
I don't know what he does, but I said, Psycho's Platters, he's got to be a part of the vinyl community.
No, he's part of the vinyl community. Yeah, he's got a good show, a good show where he talks about music and vinyl and stuff. Yeah. I check him out whenever I can.
And Royce is in the vinyl community. Royce is hooked up on that circuit pretty good, and they got people that are amazing collectors and everything of records that just blow your mind. You know, it's just I don't know what I had albums at one point in my life, but I moved around and they ended up in the back of my van, you know, when I moved here and there, and I don't know who ended up getting them, but you know, I had some pretty decent. I think I had a Jimi Hendrix collection at one time.
I have one.
I inherited that from somebody else, but and I probably shouldn't have kept it, but I did, and but I think it went back to the person that I got it, that I ended up getting it from. Anyway, that was fine with me though. Anyway, Psychos, how you doing, man? We're talking with my brother Royce, which you already know, and this is Joe and Melissa. Oh, sorry, I'm not going to screw up. Alyssa, not Melissa. I remember my son's wedding. My only son. I have one kid and a boy, and he's 40. I think he just turned 44. He was born in 79. I told him, I'm not even 44, man. What's going on here? How'd that happen? I always tease him, I'm not even 44, you know? That's anyway, I forgot what I was saying. That always happens to me, but my wife says I have dementia, and I don't believe her. I don't know what she's talking about, you know?
Yeah, we don't either.
Right. That's why I tell you, I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't forget to do that, you know?
That's funny.
But anyway, this has been a great show. It's just fantastic. I want to go back to you guys' church. And I say it every Sunday. I'm going back. Miley started letting me drive now again. It was hard for her to let me drive. We have 2 cars again, and it was like pulling teeth to get, you know. But now I got my own keys, you know. I got my own keys, my own car. Well, it's gonna be my car. And she just informed me.
Now I see why you feel like you're not 40, you know.
Well, she's the boss. I can't, I don't rock the boat too much. You know what I'm saying?
It's funny.
I
Well, we
just
are
don't. Huh?
we are at a new location right now. We're not at the same place where you visited us. We're in West Salem
I
now.
saw that. I saw that. You guys are down. Okay, I don't know, 3rd Street or something. Is that what it is?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, I saw that come up. I'm getting messages from the church.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
So it must be because I filled out something there when I went.
Yes, probably.
I'd imagine.
Yeah. So now is the service still at 12? Is that when it starts?
It's actually
Or
at
is it
11.
11?
It's 11 o'clock now, and they have a new believers class, I think, at 9 o'clock as well.
Oh.
So, new believers and just people that are coming in and want to get connected. So, yeah.
I want your guys' opinion on something. When I first started getting into it, and I started reading the Bible, like I said, we knew some pastors in Iowa. We were going to their house for Bible studies, but then we helped them open a new Foursquare church.
Right.
And we worked pretty hard on that. And, I became part of the board. I mean, there wasn't hardly nobody around, but I was I was a member of the board. There was me and my wife, and let me see, we had to have, and the pastors was 4. We had 5. We had to have a majority, So we all voted on the new sign and this and that and different things coming up that they wanted to do and stuff. And it was rolling pretty good there for a while. And Miley and I were the worship team. She sang and played a little bit of bass. And then we had this other guy, Elman, that played bass, and I played guitar. And this other guy used to come in when he could, if he didn't have to, if the shift work was, working out for him, he'd come in on guitar too. But we got to where we had a pretty good list of songs, and it was coming along pretty good, and started to get some people coming in. And then we decided to come back here. And we've been gone. We've been there for 2.5 years. We accomplished what we went there to accomplish,
Sure.
But anyway, getting back to becoming a Christian, I didn't know what to do really. I didn't know a lot about it. So I'd listen to people, and they, what you guys know an altar call. They'd have altar calls where say, if there's anybody that wants to accept Christ, come on up. And they said a prayer, repeat after me and all that stuff. And I did it. I probably did it 3 or 4 times in different places, but I didn't feel any different after that. I had to keep on working on it and keep on digging to find out, how to go about this believing stuff, right? Or some people tell me, I don't get into that God stuff. I hate that when they say that. I'm not interested in that God stuff. How do you guys put up with that? I'm not interested in that God stuff. But anyway, so I finally realized that, and now I've been reading more about, like in Romans, about calling out the name of the Lord and, believing in your heart what he did for us and all that stuff. And it's a gift from God. Being saved is a gift. And you're saved through grace and through, what is it? Saved by grace through faith,
That's
not
right.
by your own works. So I finally figured it out. I think I'm sure I figured it out. And I finally had an experience too. But here in just the last 3 or 4 months, I've really been getting, really been feeling heavy that with the Spirit in me and everything else. And it's because I think I've been studying all this, what saving actually is and who's doing it, which is Jesus is doing it. It's all this stuff that I'm finally realizing that's making a difference. But I got to tell you, ever since I started even digging, our life's changed. I mean, it's like we start to worry about stuff and this and that, and all of a sudden there's nothing to worry about anymore. It's getting taken care of,
Yeah.
But how we're impatient and we wait and wait and wait, and we've been praying and you're praying, and then why isn't it happening? But that in God's time, that's all that old saying. It's in God's time. It's not like I want it to happen now. God makes it happen when it's supposed to happen. He doesn't care about our little worries and our freaking out and all that stuff. He knows when it's got to happen, and that's when it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny?
He definitely.
I just want to tell you about how, and another thing about sinner's prayer. I don't know if there is such a thing. I don't know what you guys do in your church about that, but I said the words before, but and then when the Bible says you confess the Lord Jesus,
Right.
and they say, they got all this prayer written out. but that prayer is not in the Bible.
No.
So I'm thinking, okay, what do? You get in a quiet place and you just confess to God.
I think it's going to, that's why it's a relationship. I mean, the relationship you have with your wife is different than the relationship you have with your brother, you know, but they're both a real relationship, and he's a father better than any one of us. And he's not trying to complicate things. He's not trying to make things difficult. He wants it to be simple. I mean, so really it's a conversation with him. Right. And a recognition of who he is and what he's done, regardless of the fact that he knows exactly who you are, exactly who I am. He knows my deepest, darkest thoughts, and he still pours out his love on me. And I just want to call out to him in any way that makes sense, you know. But we do have to realize that it's shown forth, and it does. Jesus did say, "I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me." And so I do believe that, you know.
I believe it too.
How simple it is he's going.
No, it's not supposed to be complicated.
All your dark, complicated, the things that complicated it, already took care of it. Now it's simple.
Right. So that's kind of the conclusion I came to. Exactly what you're saying. It's a constant relationship.
Yeah.
You know, it's a constant relationship with him.
The closer you feel, even though it's not about feeling, but the closer you feel, it's oftentimes because you're spending time in his presence. You know, you feel closer to your wife when you spend time with your wife. You know,
that's for sure. Yeah.
You feel closer to your friend when you spend time with your friend. You feel closer to God when you spend time with God. You know,
that's right.
Yeah.
But I can't. Then when you start talking about, you know, what we're talking about, a relationship and all that, and then somebody will bring up, well, what about the thief on the cross?
Yeah.
Okay, you know that. I don't really think that's an exception. I think there's something more was going on there.
Well, what is it?
Just, you know,
what is a relationship, and when does it become a relationship?
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Right. So it's like you have someone like the thief on the cross. You know, it's like maybe you never spoke to someone in your entire life. The minute you see that grocery clerk behind the counter and you say hello, you've begun a relationship, no matter how shallow that might be. So, you know, it's the next time you see them, you'll be, oh, I remember you, you know, and Jesus said, I'm going to remember you. You know, I mean,
I was thinking maybe at that moment, maybe not at that precise moment, but he called out the name of the Lord, you know.
He asked for salvation. He said, hey, remember me. I'm about to die. I want what you have. Remember me in paradise.
So what's that?
No, I was going to say, and I think that the story of the thief on the cross is really, I think, God wanting to show people too that it's never too late, but also there's nothing that we can do to earn salvation. You know, that's just like the point. Like like whether you live your life to 100 or you live your life to one day, it's like there's nothing that you can do. Everything's done, and Jesus accepted him right there and then. I mean, so that way it's not like, well, I didn't do enough for God. Well, he didn't do anything. He just cried out to him. So it's like, so it just basically like it's almost like that story in there just disproves all the religious, you know, things that like the Pharisees were doing, you know, when they were like, we need to do all these million things to please God. And Jesus is going like, just this guy just acknowledged me, who I am. And here I, you know, so just break down all the Pharisees.
That's right. That's great though. That's fantastic that he just said, Lord, Lord, you know, and Jesus knew him right there. He knew his heart. He knew he really acknowledged who he was. And that's really great. Now we picked that one apart the other day. Well, maybe he knew Jesus before that happened. Maybe he was seeing everything coming on. You know, we've seen Jesus coming down the street, dragging his cross and stuff, saying, oh my goodness, you know, and he could have realized at that point that's, or, we just picked it apart and everything.
Sure.
But I'd like to pick people's brains on a few things because I got a lot of clarity, but I still like to hear,
Sure.
where I'm at, and stuff, because I'm still working on it. I mean,
Yeah.
I know that it's a lifelong thing. I mean, not being saved, but your walk with God,
Yeah.
it's for the rest of your life,
That's right.
and you're not ever going to make it to perfection, but you can get a lot better.
Right.
But what if somebody, this is what that reminded me. One more thing. What if somebody, I don't want to, I've got to be careful what scenario I use, but what if somebody, this could get pretty bad, but what if somebody, like, say, was a pedophile or something, right? And they really wanted to be saved. They really wanted to get to know Jesus and all this stuff. And so they went through the motions, started having a relationship, and and thought they became to know Jesus and all that stuff, and then went right back into doing that again.
Oh.
Is his salvation sealed, or did he wasn't really saved in the first place? That's the question. That's a tough question.
God does God a whole lot better than I do God. I don't know. I
don't know either. That's why
I know God's heart. God's heart is for salvation. God's heart is for reconciliation. He does make it really clear that, like, the people that hurt little kids, like, it says it's better for a millstone to be hung around their neck than to harm one of these little ones. I mean, that shows you that he cares so much. But, like, to him, it's like I mean, the pedophile might be like, the pedophile is a little one to him, right? Like, I mean, what happened to this person that would cause them to do such things? I mean, what has taken place in their life? Now, I'm not justifying any sin at all. There is no justification. But you don't do things like that to people unless something has gone, like, wrong here and in your heart.
I believe that.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I did. Yeah,
I'll let God be the judge.
Right.
I'll let God be the judge of that. But I mean, a person that cries out to their Father in sincerity and says, "I need help. I need salvation." I mean, God loves them.
I'm not saying that God wouldn't listen again if he slipped up or she slipped, whatever. But if it just couldn't stop, no matter how many times, well, I don't. That's what I don't know. That's what. I probably never know that answer. But anyway, that's okay.
We know that happens, but honestly, like, here's the deal. Jesus Christ didn't come just to, like, save us from a future hell. Jesus Christ came to give us abundant life, like, today, right now. Like, he can take some sinner that's done the nastiest, dirtiest things, and he can transform their lives to where it's like all you see is holiness. That's the goal. He didn't like save you just to be like, well, now you don't have to go to hell. He saved you to have himself formed inside of you. And when he does, so I think that a true, like, repentant person eventually will see righteousness in their lives.
That's the answer I was looking for right there. Yeah. That's the way I feel too. You've got to change if he's inside you working.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any way around that,
No.
Something's got to be, you got to be corrected. He's going to be in there correcting you.
Right. He came to deliver and he came to transform.
Right. So, exactly. Well, before we go for the night, I'd like to thank Royce, my brother Royce from Royce in the House, and Joe.
Oh, you're welcome, Rich.
And I would
nice meeting Joe and Alyssa, and good to see Angela and Psycho's Platter here, and hope Bobby's doing okay in the hospital.
Bobby had a new hit.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'd like to remind everybody to when you watch us on our podcast and stuff, and it's really easy to subscribe to it. Yeah, it doesn't cost anything. It's there's no credit card required or nothing like that. It's just a simple hit the like button. Even if you don't like me, I want you to hit like anyway. Hit subscribe and hit the notification bell, and you get notified when a new show's on. It's as simple as that. And I would like to ask my brother and you guys to share what we did tonight to your friends and stuff like that. And say we had a good time. And I mean, if you didn't have a good time, you don't have to say that. But say let them watch what's going on here on the Jesus Movement, and any added person, viewer, subscriber, whatever, to all of our shows is just helps us expand. In my case, the Jesus Movement.
I tell people about your show every chance I get, and Richie's right. There's a like button, a thumbs up button on the screen. And if you hit that, what it does is it lets the YouTube algorithm know that people like the show. So when people are searching for content, just randomly looking for something to watch, and
oh, he froze. Is he the only one that froze?
Yes.
Okay. So I don't know what he was going to say, but anyway, is he? Oh, Royce, what'd you do? Okay, I'm just gonna leave him alone. He looks pretty good, right, like that.
It's a good
But anyway, you guys, this has been a great one.
whatever the
plug
directly into your modem.
Am I?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm always plugged directly in. Are you tonight?
No, I'm not.
Okay, that's why you're getting a little.
I was just randomly sitting here, going through YouTube stuff, and I came across your show live, and I didn't run down the hallway and plug this into my modem,
Man, I'm not the one that's always forgetting stuff. I told you like the last 3 days in a row what time I was coming on. No, maybe it wasn't that much. But Joe, would you like to pray for us before we go?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Lord, I just want to say thank you so much for my neighbor Richie and his brother Royce, and I thank you for what they're doing. Lord, I just ask that you would cause them to know you in such a way that they recognize you more as a father and more as a friend than they do as just a distant God. So I pray that you would become more and more personal to them, cause them to sit in your presence as sons sit in the presence of their father, and cause them to know your love and your joy. Lord, I thank you that you rejoice over them with singing, as your word says. And Lord, you care for them, every aspect of them. Lord, you don't just love them, you like them. And I just pray that they would know this in reality, God. Continue to pour yourself out on them, make yourself known to them. Lord, I pray that you'd even bless their podcasts and bless them in every aspect of their lives, Lord. In Jesus' mighty name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Alyssa.
Thank you guys so much.
Hopefully you come on again, and maybe you guys are moving. Are you guys moving pretty soon? Are you guys moving soon?
We are in a month. Within the month.
Back to Florida?
Yes, sir.
We can still hook up online.
We're in Florida.
Sarasota area?
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's on the Gulf side. Yeah.
Yeah.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah. A friend of mine moved there.
Yeah.
You got used to that sunny weather, huh?
Oh, it's nice.
He's a chef there.
It's the perfect.
You come back, it's 23 degrees. You're over there in a tank top, right? God.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I don't know. I want to be in the perfect weather spot someday, I think. I don't know if that'll ever happen, though. It might. You never know.
You never know.
Delight yourself in the Lord, and He'll give you the desires of your heart.
Yeah.
There you are.
Yeah.
See? I told you, Royce.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to sign off, and I want to thank you.
Good night, everybody. Good night, everybody. Angela,
right.
Psycho. Thank you, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, y'all. Great, good show.